on my other phone, but maybe that's just a glitch. Wait a second. Let me test something. Oh, there's my notification that I'm live. Put this on mute. Oh, okay, it's working. Yay! It only took a few minutes. Maybe that was just my phone. Okay. Awesome. That's all I need. Sounds good. So last time we started, where did we start? There's only a couple of chapters. We started in 1 Samuel. I think we started in 1 Samuel 16, actually. Yeah, 1 Samuel 16, and we read to 1 Samuel 21. We read to 1 Samuel 20, so we read 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5 chapters. Now we're at the part where David is on the run from Saul. Jonathan had just confirmed that his father was trying to kill his best friend David. So, now David is just starting to go on the run. There. Then David went to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech came trembling in fear to meet David, and said to him, "Why are you alone, and no one with you?" What do the footnotes say about this? Nob, the city of the priests, was located on Mount Scopas, about a mile northeast of Jerusalem. Ahimelech was also known as Ahijah. Okay. Oh, hi! It's like 8 people. Okay. Why are you alone and no one with you? Oh, just to be clear, we're on 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 2. I'm going to turn the light on. There we go. David said to Ahimelech the priest, "The king has commissioned me with a matter and has told me, 'Let no one know anything about the matter for which I am sending you and with which I have commissioned you. I have directed the young men to a certain place.'" I've often wondered why David lied here. Well, obviously to protect himself, but I do not know who that is. Oh wait, that's you. Hi! Unless that's your internet name and I know you somewhere else. Now what food do you have on hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread or whatever can be found. The priest answered David, "There is no ordinary meaning unconsecrated bread on hand, but there is consecrated bread. You may have it, if only the young men have kept themselves from women." The consecrated bread was supposed to be only for the priests. Oh my goodness. How did you all find me? Hi. The priest answered David. Got it. David answered the priest, "Be assured that women have been kept from us in these 3 days since I set out, and the bodies of young men were consecrated, ceremonially clean, bodies of the young men, although it was an ordinary unconsecrated journey. So how much more will their vessels be holy today?" Hi. Oh, hi! I recognize some of those names. So the priest gave him the consecrated bread. For there was no bread there except the bread of the presence, which was removed from before the Lord in order to put hot bread in its place when it was taken away. Oh, so maybe it wasn't the fresh bread. Let's see what the footnotes say. The bread of the presence, showbread, was an offering dedicated to God and was to be eaten only by the priests. The ancient rabbis maintained that any law may be superseded to save life, and that David's life was in danger from hunger. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, where was I? So the priest gave him verse 7. Now one of Saul's servants was there that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Doeg, the Edomite, the chief of Saul's shepherds. David said to Ahimelech, "Do you not have a sword or spear here on hand? For I brought neither my sword nor my other weapons with me, because the king's business was urgent." Then the priest said, "The sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, is here, wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you would take it for yourself, do so, for there is no other here except for it." And David said, "There is none like that. Give it to me." Then David arose and fled from Saul that day, and went to Achish, king of Gath. Who is the king of Gath? This was a dangerous place to go, since it was not only one of the Philistines' 5 major cities, but also the former home of Goliath. Oh my goodness, that's right! It says back when he fought to Goliath, he was from Gath. Why did he do that? And the priest said, okay. The servants of Achish said to him, "Is this not David, the king of the land? Did they not sing in praise of this one as they dance, saying, 'Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s'?" Hi, Charlie. Excuse me. David took these words to heart and was greatly afraid of Achish, king of Gath. So fearing for his life, he changed his behavior in their sight, and acted insanely in their hands, and he scribbled on the doors of the gate, and drooled on his beard. Ugh! Had to be committed to that act. Then Achish said to his servants, "Look, you see that the man is insane. Why have you brought him to me? Do I lack madmen, that you bring me this one to behave like a madman in my presence? Shall this one come into my house?" Sounds like he dealt with madmen a lot. First Samuel chapter 22, verse 1. So David departed from there, and escaped to the cave of Adullam, something like that. And then his brothers and all his father's house heard about it. They went down there to him. And when his brothers and all his father's household heard about it, they went down to him. Sorry, I should eat a cough drop. Don't mind me. I like this brand, the herb flavor. I don't like fruit cough drops. Anyway, that's besides the point. Everyone who was suffering hardship, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him, and he became captain over them. There were about 400 men with him. I love how David kind of became a biblical. I love how David kind of became a Bible Times Robin Hood. Then David went from there to Mizpah of Moab, and he said to the king of Moab, "Please, let my father and my mother come out of Judah and stay with you until I know what God will do for me." Hold on, I should check my audio again. Testing. Okay, it's good. Then David went from there to Mizpah of Moab, and he said to the king of Moab, "Please let my father and my mother come out of Judah and stay with you until I know what God will do for me." Then he left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him all the time that David was in the stronghold. Then the prophet Gad said to David, Do not stay in the stronghold. Leave, and go into the land of Judah. So David left and went into the forest of Hereth. But Saul heard that David and the men who were with him had been discovered. But Saul heard that David and the men who were with him had been discovered. Where did David find a prophet? Was I not paying attention? Saul was in Gibeah, sitting under the tamarisk tree on the high place, with his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing around him. Saul said to his servants who were standing around him, "Listen now, you Benjamites! Will the son of Jesse also give every one of you fields and vineyards? Will he make you all commanders of thousands and hundreds? For all of you have conspired against me, so that no one informs me when my son Jonathan makes a covenant with the son of Jesse." He's always blaming his problems on everyone else. "None of you cares about me or informs me that my son has stirred up my servant against me to lie in ambush, as he does this day." Oh, that was a question mark. "As he does this day?" Then Doeg the Edomite, who was standing with Saul's servants. Ooh, remember, he was mentioned way back in the last chapter. No. Yeah, way back in the last chapter. Now one of Saul's servants was there that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Doeg the Edomite, the chief of Saul's shepherds. Wonder what detained before the Lord means. And that was back in chapter 21, verse 7. Now back in chapter 22, verse 9, it says, Doeg the Edomite, who was standing with Saul's servants, replied, "I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, to Ahimelech, the priest, the son of Ahitub. Ahimelech inquired of the Lord for him, and gave him provisions, and the sword of Goliath the Philistine." Also, after this chapter, I'm going to have to go. Really sorry to cut it short, but I started late. Of course he will. Oh my goodness! Sire Toro shows up? Of course he will. Luca or Lucasito? You just have to ask him. That's what he says. You just have to ask him. Also, hi, Aaron. I see you there. Christopher. I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Well, God already knows what it is. He already knows what you did. He's just waiting for you to come back to him. Real life might have consequences, but he'll always forgive you. Ahimelech inquired of the Lord for him, and gave him provisions, and the sword of Goliath the Philistine. Then the king sent someone to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's household, the priests who were at Nob, and all of them came to the king. Then Saul said, "Listen now, son of Ahitub." He replied, "Here I am, at your service, my lord." Saul said to him, "Why have you and the sons of Jesse conspired against me, in that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired of God for him, so that he would rebel against me by lying in ambush, as he does this day?" Then Ahimelech answered the king, "And who among all your servants is as faithful and trustworthy as David? Who is the king's son-in-law, and who is captain over your guard and your confidant, and is honored in your house? Did I just begin to inquire of God for him today? Far be it from me. Do not let the king impute my guilt to his servant, or to any of the household of my father, for your servant knows nothing at all about this entire matter." Because remember, David lied to him. But Saul said, "Be assured that you shall die, Ahimelech, you and all your father's household," meaning his extended family. And the king said to the guards who stood around him, "Turn around and kill the priests of the Lord, because their loyalty also is with David, and because they knew that he was fleeing and did not inform me." But the servants of the king were not willing to put out their hands to attack the Lord's priests. Yeah, they were like, "I'm not going to kill God's priests. What, are you kidding me?" So the king said to Doeg, "You turn around and attack the priests." And Doeg the Edomite turned around and attacked the priests. I don't know what he means by turned around. Did they have their backs to them? Attacked the priests. And that day, he killed 85 men who wore the priest's linen ephod. Sorry. Lucasito, do you already, what am I trying to say? It does not matter what you've done. You just have to go back to him, repent, and ask for forgiveness. Confess and repent. He already knows. And, he's trying to, what am I trying to say? He already knows what you did, and he wants you to come to him. And we shouldn't treat God like the friend that can be manipulated and always comes back. He is the Father who never leaves. Somebody's home, but they live in the other house. And he loves you. Jesus loves you. Where was I? Linen ephod. Guilt leads us to Christ. Don't let condemnation set in. At least once. Don't let condemnation set in. That is not from God. Conviction is from God. Because condemnation doesn't give you a way out. Conviction is what gives you a way out. Because you know what to do next. Who is home? Who is surrounding my camper? There's a lot of people home. Oh, thank you. I see. You're helping. I wasn't sure what was being said. Oh, I bet somebody's here to pick up the boat. Okay. Almost done with this chapter. Linen ephod. And he struck Nob, the city of the priests, with the edge of the sword, both men and women, children and infants. Also he struck oxen and donkeys and sheep with the edge of the sword. That's terrible. But one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub, named Abiathar, escaped and fled to David. Abiathar told David that Saul had murdered the Lord's priests. Then David said, 9 p.m. here. Oh, wow. You're welcome. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Lucasito? But yeah, you're welcome. And I'll be praying for you. I'm not I don't have all the answers. I don't. But I know Jesus does. It's all about him. And it's really good. It's really good for you to find leaders in your life that can help you and guide you. Oh, thank you. I'm assuming you're talking to me. Thank you. Abiathar told David that Saul had murdered the Lord's priests. Then David said to Abiathar, I knew that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would certainly tell Saul, I have brought about the death of everyone in your father's household, extended family. Stay with me. Do not be afraid. Wait, I knew that day. Wait, David saw Doeg and knew that everybody would die? No, he knew he would tell Saul, and now he's blaming himself. It's like, I have brought about the death of everyone in your father's household. Stay with me, do not be afraid, for he who seeks my life seeks your life, but you are safe with me. Can you imagine, back then, one person does something wrong and their entire household is killed? And it was Saul that made that decision. Saul was very jealous, very insecure. When Saul first became king, when Saul first became king, he was asked if he wanted to kill the people that didn't want him to become king, because some people didn't want him to. I believe that was Saul. It could have been a different king. But I believe that was Saul. And he said, no, don't kill them. And now he goes and does this. Total flip. That's what happens when you're the way he is, unrepentant. Well, like Saul was always making excuses for himself. He always blamed it on the other person. He didn't want to be king. And he was a really good one when he was first king. And then after a while, he lost sight of what God had called him for, and he became very insecure and just terrible. Alright, next time we'll start with chapter 23. I have to go pick up my friend. Also, that's good that you were raised in a Christian family. I hope they all encourage and support you and challenge you lovingly, because we need people who have authority, not the ones that are always complaining, but people that when they speak, you listen because you know they love you and they have your best interests at heart and they're not just trying to control you. See you later, Christopher. Love you. Because when they come to you and they're telling you something they see out of genuine, like, concern for you, and not just be like, oh, why would you do that? More like, this is gonna hurt you. It needs to change, you're hurting other people, or I don't know how they would say it. Man, I'm on a big rabbit trail, but basically it's really good to have people in your life that when they challenge you to change, it's not to change your personality to better them. It's for you. It's for God. It's for God, your relationship with God, which ultimately is you. Oh, come on. Don't say that. Literally don't say that. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. That was uncalled for. And he never would have said it to your face. He has to say it behind a keyboard. And I don't want to make this a drama scene. So I'm just going to say, God bless all of you and have a great day. And definitely pray. I will be praying for you. And go to people that you trust. And I pray that they will care for you and not condemn you. All of you. I mean, all of you are great. I'm messing over my words. Have a good day, everyone. God bless you. And how do I exit? There it is. Bye.